How well do you know your partner, your father, your friend? How certain are you that the person you know is not simply a facade meant to deceive you every single moment that you're together and distract you from who they really are? Now that I just gave you a bunch of new anxieties and insecurities to lay awake thinking about while you're trying to fall asleep at night, these questions are at the heart of the currently airing crime thriller K-drama entitled Flower of Evil. Hello YouTube, my name's Marie, and like I just mentioned, today we're talking about Flower of Evil. I've watched the first 4 episodes and I can confidently say that you should too. About a week ago, I posted on my Instagram story asking you guys if you are currently watching the show, and I'm truly shocked that 64% had never even heard of it. And I'm shocked because it's starring who I think is like an industry star or industry veteran, being Lee Joon Gi. I mean, he's led up fan favorites like The Magistrate, Scholar Who Walks at Night, and of course Moon Lover's Scarlet Heart Rio. What a long obnoxious title. But maybe the fact that I think he is so relevant is aging me as a K-drama fan. So let me know down below, when did you guys start watching K-dramas? Because all of the ones that I just mentioned did air around 2016 and prior, so maybe he's not relevant, I don't know. In this series, he plays a seemingly perfect man who owns a metal arts craftsman shop thing. Like, he makes jewelry and pottery and things like that. Not only is he a passionate and supportive husband, but also an extremely gentle and caring father to his young daughter. Unbeknownst to his family, specifically his wife and daughter, he is using them as a facade to hide his past and hide his true identity. The son of a murderer and potentially murderer himself. So very juicy drama there. And to add to the intensity and drama of the whole situation, his wife is a police detective, and a very good one at that. I will just say right now, before I forget, that watching his wife do her investigative work and also work within her unit, I really believed that she was good at her job, because everyone is smart. There's no leaps of faith that I don't understand how they got from point A to point B, and also they pick things up quickly. There was no moment of me sitting there screaming at my screen for them to just like look over there or like connect these dots. Like, I believed that they were very good and very skilled police detectives, so I did like that. Wanted to mention it, but now we're moving on. Another pro for this K-drama is that it is beautifully shot. Like, I think there was definitely some thought put into how they set up their scenes and the movement of the camera. It is very appealing to the eyes. Like, I don't want to say it took me out of the story, because that's a very negative thing to say, but when I watched the first couple episodes of a show intending to make a first impression, I think I'm watching a bit more critically and not necessarily the way the average viewer might be watching. That being said, there were a few moments that I out of the show a little bit, like out of the story, simply to appreciate the shot setup and the colors and the framing and the staging of everything, and I was like, this looks nice. Even though the show does very violent things, it's never come off as distasteful or violence for the sake of violence. I feel like everything is there to push the story along, and I'm never grossed out or feeling uncomfortable, because I am someone who is a real big baby and I can't watch a lot of violence. The violence is there to heighten the stakes and make all of the situations feel very believable, feel very threatening, feel like there will be real consequences to your characters, because people are dying, people are getting injured. And that is coming from someone who primarily watches a lot of romantic, fluffy K-dramas. That's the genre that I enjoy most. I find it very refreshing. I find it to be a nice step away from what I usually watch, and almost like a palette cleanser. Like, I feel like once I'm done with Flower of Evil, I'll be able to jump right back into, say, some high school age dramas or something similar to Touch Your Heart or Her Private Life. Like, I just feel like this is such a great palette cleanser. We have a fairly big cast, and they've been introduced in like the best way possible, where I don't forget who anybody is. And as the show continues, I hope we actually learn more about everybody. Like, I want to know more about his parents, I want to know more about the wife's police unit, I want to know more about the daughter, I want to know more about the reporter, like everybody who we are being introduced to, engaged with. However, my favorites are definitely the male lead, even though he's kind of a psychopath, doesn't have a lot of empathy, and you are not sure exactly what his true feelings are. I find him incredibly likable. I'm rooting for him 100%. And then I would say my next favorite would be the reporter. I think their dynamic together is quite fun. Everybody likes a good bromance. I wouldn't go so far to say this is a bromance, but there are those playful elements between them. At first, I didn't love our female lead, the wife. I find her character to be a little bit stiff. The character feels most genuine when she's in her like detective role. As soon as she comes home and has to act as the mother and the wife, I feel like things aren't quite clicking for me, but maybe as the series goes on that might change. So after all of that, you are wondering, am I gonna keep watching the show? Or maybe you're not wondering, because I think it's pretty dang obvious, and that is yes, I'm eagerly waiting for it. But let me know down below if you guys are watching Flower of Evil and what your general thoughts are on the show so far. Have a good day and a good night. Bye.